Welcome, welcome, welcome to Seriously Joking. I know it's been a minute. All right, man. We want to get it started, man. There's been a lot of crazy things going on. We got Trump supporters yelling about civil war. We got Biden supporters talking about they're going to burn the place down. Philly been on fire for like 2 weeks now. The election is finally, well, we done all voted. I can't say that the election is over because they ain't really picked the winner yet. They have and they haven't. Crazy amount of lawsuits are going on out there, man. I want to bring in my man Don Goes In from the show Don Goes In. Don, how you feeling, man?
Oh, peace, peace. What's going on, fam?
Oh man, hey man, I'm bringing my man Everett from the Real Truth and Power. Hey E.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Hey man, how y'all doing out there today, man? Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. You know what I mean? With like the election results coming in, man, and it's looking like they're going to go ahead and tap Biden for the next 4 years, man. My question to both of you is where do we go from here?
Mm. Good question.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
one right
All
there.
right, Don, go it in then. You know, Don goes in, go in.
I don't know. I have no clue where we're going from here. The only thing I want to know is if Ice Cube gonna get a phone call now that they won.
You know what? I was thinking the exact same thing. Hey, man, where do we go from here, man?
Well, I think that's a good question. Donnie said that hopefully they talk to Cube now and see what's up with that. But we need to just start getting ourselves together so we can come with an agenda, with a plan to get some things in return for our vote. And I think it's very important right now because, we have a lot of issues in the community. We have a lot of things monetarily that the government can do to help us. Recreation centers, funds, grants, public housing, things that are just being destroyed right now, education. And we just need to start demanding for a vote and letting them know, like, you got 4 years. And we need to start seeing things right now. Like, as soon as you get in, we need to have this happen right now. I think that should be our main focus.
Well, because you've had like a couple of candidates on the Real Truth and Power that actually won their elections in Baltimore. Let me ask you: have you been in contact with them, and do you have any plans on contacting them to say, "Hey, man, what's on the agenda, and when can we start seeing some of these things from some of like these black think tanks?" Because I don't want to just make it seem as though Ice Cube was the only one that came up with like a contract for Black America. There are quite a few of them. Knowing how the law works, I'm not going to say when are we going to see some of these things change in the law, but when are we going to actually start seeing them being discussed at City Hall? Is that on your agenda?
Well, I had talked to a brother. I interviewed a brother that was running for this Baltimore City Council.
Yeah.
Brother James Torrance, a good brother. And I like the brother because I didn't actually hit him for an interview. Somebody shared this information saying vote for him. And you know me, I went in. What's his plan, brother? Why should I vote for him? Does he have a plan, brother? Who's this brother? And the dude commented like, brother, here's my number, contact me. So I was like, we started talking. I invited him on the show and he came on. One of the things I like about the brother is he's genuine. So, I'd already started talking to him before the election started. And he's one of them guys like, man, can you assist me? I'm trying to start a cultural center in the Baltimore area. How can I go about it? He'd be like, hold on, get back to me in a couple of days, research some stuff. So I definitely know the brothers about this business, about going forward with with being proactive and helping the community. That being said, getting elected is something that maybe he isn't aware of, or he doesn't have the know-how or the help to do. So I think one thing to do is we got a brother there that's willing to help us. Now we got to push all the other politicians to get on board with the agenda, and it starts with the school system and things like that. So he's definitely willing to help us and put forth the work. But, he got to still go through the same political system as everybody else would do. And so we got to put not just pressure on him to live up to what he says he's going to do, but those people around him. He's only one vote on the board of councilmen. So we got to keep applying the pressure and use him, to support us.
All right. All right. So with everything being, laid out the way it has been, we already know that there are a bunch of lawsuits already in progress as we speak, concerning like this election, and it's crazy. But I was looking at this one. I seen somebody put a post on it, so I went right to like their website, and it's called the Gateway Pundit, which I'll just go ahead and put a disclaimer out there. They're Republican and they're very pro-Trump, saying that the software that was used in Michigan changed 6,000 votes from Biden to Trump. And then they're outlining 30 other states that pretty much use this same software.
Wow.
And that they're going to use this as their basis for like their lawsuit. I don't know, how they're going to get it overturned. But Trump had already said from the very beginning that this one was going down to the Supreme Court anyway, So with like me personally, I look at it like, okay, well, if you say that there's a problem with the software, then you're going to have to be able to get somebody in there to show that there was a problem with the software. Yeah. My thing is this: while you're complaining and crying about someone changing the vote, these same people, your party members, were out setting ballot boxes on fire as though no Republicans dropped their ballots off. You were already fighting against the early voting as if no Republicans would vote early. And you had, as recently as 2 days ago, people sitting outside the convention center in Philadelphia with dynamite and guns in a van talking about blowing it up because they're taking too long counting votes. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. You can't try to destroy votes and then get mad and say like, "Oh, we don't have enough votes." When you have mailmen dumping votes into the river, you had pictures of mailmen dumping ballots in the trash, and then you turn around and be like, "Oh, we don't have enough votes."
When they ever fought had a fair fight, man? Come on, man. They never fought fair, fight fair ever. Yeah. So, and then they still complain on the back end, because it didn't go their way. So, this is to be expected. This is their regular behavior. They don't believe in fair fights. It's their way or no way. And I don't think your man's gonna leave without a pardon goodbye. They're gonna have to go by force. I see the Proud Boys and everybody else sitting in front of the White House saying, no, he don't got to go climbing on the moving truck as it go down Pennsylvania Avenue.
Mm-hmm. So, you don't think he gonna leave willingly?
No, he's not even gonna concede willingly.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, he definitely going down with a fight. That's for sure. He definitely going down.
At this point, you know what I mean? Do y'all still see like his supporters taking it to the street, or they just gonna let the whole thing go?
They in the streets.
Yeah,
they in the streets now.
What was it? They was what's funny? You said that, Donnie, brother Jay Rich. What's crazy is that these people was rioting and protesting. I didn't hear the publicity. You don't hear the rubber bullets being sprayed out at people. You don't hear them being called savages. They out there burning up stuff.
Yeah.
And only 3 people get locked up. These people are the main ones making threats. Somebody said, did you hear about the city? No, was the Georgia police commissioner, somebody saying all Democrats should be shot and killed? Y'all didn't hear about that? Yeah, put it on Facebook. Yeah, he said, I don't know if he was joking or not, but now he's under investigation. There's another. Yeah, there's another one that guy that was saying, you know, he's gonna do like a mass school shooting and just he's thinking about just killing all Democrats.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
yeah, that's crazy in its own right. But here we are riding because we getting killed by the police. You know, we upset by the unfairness of our system, and we just fighting and riding for equal equality because we're so hurt inside. And these people are trying to kill innocent people because of an election. Come on, bro. That's crazy.
We ride and tear stuff up. They protest.
Yeah, that
according
exactly.
to them.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
it's a
One
big
thing I
spectrum.
did hear, I didn't know it was from Georgia. I don't remember who it was from, but yeah, there was somebody else that was just like, you know what I mean? We just need to kill, pretty much, you know what I mean? If you don't agree with my view, then you just should die. And I'm just like, wow, man, you know what I mean? What happened to the first? But they're the first ones to yell about the First Amendment, and they're right to say whatever it is they want to say and be able to do whatever it is they want to do. But since you brought up,
What I tell you, man, it only applies to them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to fight fair. All us got to follow all the rules. They get to make them.
Arkansas police commissioner resigns after saying death to all Democrats on social media.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let me ask you both a question because again, I just find this as symbolism. You see, I think it was Mississippi finally changed their state flag and took the Dixie Confederate thing down or whatever, and replaced it with like a flower or something. Me personally, replacing your flag does not replace the people, the resentment, the racism, or the oppression that goes on in your state. You know. I said the same thing when Georgia finally took the flag down off the state capitol. Me personally, I'm like, put it back up. Let me know where I'm at when I get there. I see the flag flying, like, oh, okay. Yeah, I need to be on code and watch where I go. You know what I mean? You take it down and try to act like it's all friendly and everything, but we really know that it's not. You know what I mean? Fly that flag, man. So what do y'all think about them changing the flag, but not actually changing, you know what I mean, the rules in which they govern by?
Well, that's all they want to do is give us, you know, all these feel good moments. So, you know, they take the flag down, but that might be it. There go your reparation check. They're gonna take the flag down and put a flower up, but I'm not expecting much from them. But it do need to come down because symbols do matter. And that Confederate flag got to go. I mean, I don't care about it either way. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know any other group on this planet that celebrates the loser. Didn't y'all? I mean, who does that?
Raven fans.
Yeah, that.
You heard me. He heard me.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a low blow.
Well, the other thing, man, that I'm hoping doesn't turn into symbolism, but I'm trying to keep an open mind about it, is I see a lot of posts and everybody is congratulating Miss Harris on being like the first female and first Black vice president. I don't personally want to fall into the same trap that we did with like Obama, just being happy that we have somebody, you know what I mean, that looks like us in office, but doesn't actually work towards an agenda to further us, man, and equality.
Brother, let me ask you a question first, brother Jay Rich. Is she Black?
I mean, technically, or
yeah, because I'm hearing
her father's Jamaican, man. So I can't say that no, she's not Black. And you know,
what does her birth certificate say?
You know what? Somebody else brought that up and said that on her birth certificate says that she's white. I've never seen a birth certificate, so I can't.
That's what I heard as well. I heard.
I've never seen it, so I can't comment.
I'm sure we can Google it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the true copy, but
I'm gonna do that.
Well, it probably should.
Yeah, I want to know that too, because so that you know that's some of the things right there. Is she even claiming to be Black? She's no, and I she's a Black sister. Don't get me wrong, but Black is more than color. If you're not repping Black on your birth certificate, if you black and your mother put down white or something and you really black, you would think at some point you'll say, I need to go change that on my birth certificate. I am what I am. I'm a black person. I'm proud of it. She's married to a white person. If her birth certificate says she's not black, she's married to a white person. I mean, just because you went to Howard, allegedly smoked weed, listen to Tupac and wear Timberlands a couple of months ago, that's not black to me. So I need to know that first. Is she black? Has she said I'm a black female or sister? I'm uneducated. This is just a question. I'm assuming she's black. But from everything that a lot of negative things that I've said about her, those are the only things that I pick up. Why didn't you go get your birth certificate changed? Stuff like that. But like you said, we don't need symbolism. She already said she's not going to do anything specifically for black people.
Thank you.
So if you're not doing anything specifically for black people, how do we advance to catch up? If you're saying I'm gonna do things that's going to help black people, white people, Indians, Hispanics, Mexicans, that's great. We all come up together, but we on the bottom. Seems like Hispanics rise up over us. Chinese come over us. Everybody comes up over us. So we need somebody to do something specifically for us so we can stay up there with them. And if you're not doing anything specifically for us, I
agree. Hey, I say it like this, right? Let's say you got a garden in the back of your house, right? So you go out there and you plant some orange seeds, right? And then you grow your orange tree, and when it come out, and then you got apples growing out your tree, you find out what you really put in the ground. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she black or not, but in the next 100 days, we're going to find out if she got a black agenda or not, and that's going to tell us what type of fruit she banned. And right, if I got to go from the fruit I've seen in the past, I'm going to say she white / Indian, as in Indian, and a tad bit of Jamaican, but she don't even claim that because she don't even claim her own daddy.
Wow.
So... Wow. And he was a professor, I heard, at a university, and he wasn't a bad dude from what I heard.
Well, since you both done touched on it just a little bit, at what point do we how long? How long do we give them before they sit down with, one of these Ice Cube or one of these black think tanks before we start, questioning, what was meant by like, let's wait till after the election? You know what I mean? Do we wait a year? Do we wait 2 years? Because from everything that I've seen and read, that Biden already has like an agenda for, as most presidents, for like their first 100 days. Is the contract with Black America within his agenda for the first 100 days or what? I'll touch on the other things that he has going on in a moment. But how long do you give him, Don, before
day one?
Down?
Easy answer. Day one. If you ain't got a black agenda day one, we should be out there protesting and burning the White House down. Day one. You got 1 day to get it right. We've been dealing with police murder and brutality under a black president, our first supposedly black president. Now we got our first supposedly black vice president. You got the day one to put a solve to this problem. If not, we should be out there rioting and protesting and showing off just like they do.
Yeah, I'm with you. We don't got time to be waiting.
Nah, we waited too long.
We don't got time to be waiting. Let's just put that out there. We don't got time to be waiting. I mean, it's we need to find out what you're going to do now. See if you're at least fighting for our cause. You know what I mean? Because if you're not fighting for our cause, if you sitting up there and you just doing the same old po quo, then you only got 3 years. Because the 4th year, we already know we're not voting for you. So you got 3, and you better start working on 2. We running out of time. We running out of time.
I agree.
What are some of the things that you would like to see him begin to work on? I know Don, I heard you say about the whole police brutality thing, but he's already made it clear that police just need to be nicer, and they need sensitivity training. So me personally, and you have a DA that, you know what I mean, locked up, you know what I mean, countless of people that look like the three of us, you know, on petty crimes. And so when you say, you know what I mean, stop the police brutality, and most police brutality cases, man, it is actually the DA that allows these cops to get away with what it is that they have done. So with your vice president being an ex-DA, how much, you know what I mean? How much of this police brutality do you literally, I mean, realistically expect to end when you have a lawmaker that is champion laws on locking us up, and you have a DA that stood behind those laws and carried them out to the fullest of the extent for Black people, especially.
Hey, she got one day, and I need to see executive order with some type of policy. We need body cameras mandatory, and if they take it off, then they catch the charge as if they committed the crime or the murder. That's day one. That's something that Trump did, a million executive orders from the time he walked in there. So we all know it can be done because they let him do it. So I expect to see Biden and them do the same thing. Executive order, all these changes need to be in place. Qualified immunity has to go, and body cameras need to come, and they need to take it out of the DA's hands with these cases that are in the states and all these things that they can do, even if it doesn't have a legal power and they have to go through Congress. It never stopped Trump from writing anything he wrote and put in executive order. So I need to see, give me that type of symbolism. So at least we got a leg to stand on when we go fight. So day one, I ain't got no more time to wait. We waited too long. We've been waiting for 400, 500 years for some justice. And that's all we've been asking for. And we ain't got it yet. We ain't got no more time to wait.
That's right. That's right. I agree totally. I agree totally.
Okay. So once we get past the police brutality, what would be the next step? What would be the next thing that you would like to see done?
Well, you know, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but you know, we need to have some form of reparations come in. You know what I mean? We got to have some form of reparations come in because reparations could be a lot of forms. It doesn't have to be money, but we need something to equal this level playing field.
Cut that check.
You have white people getting,
Cut that check.
white people getting, you know, they running. Yeah, you got white people ahead of the game. You got a lot of people ahead of the game. We got to catch up, and the best way is through reparations. And they don't want to talk about it, but what are we going to get? You got to give us something. You know, that 9-to-5 work plantation job is great for some people, but for our economic survival, we need better education in our schools. We need a lot that they need to do like drastically right away. Our school systems are like daycares, man. Are they even really learning in the public school systems in the hoods? So we got a lot that they need to work on right away.
I agree. Think that, most definitely. Any economist to tell you that that has to be on. It has to be part of the plan. Has to be part of the plan for us to be able to catch up. Not only that, and then not only with the reparations and the form of straight cash. We need land. And we need to be able to get permits in order to do something with it. It is completely pointless for us to be able to do like what they usually do. And that is say like, okay, we're going to give you this amount of money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then they raise the cost of living where the amount of money that they have given you doesn't really mean anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean, when they open up neighborhoods for us to be able to move in, but yet they raise like the property tax in that neighborhood, and they raise, you know what I mean, and they lower the value of the houses in that neighborhood. We're like, yeah, now you can finally afford to move in, but everybody moving out and then drop the property value, so it doesn't really benefit you anything. There's no equity for you to draw out of it. So we need something that's going to have equity in it. We need something that we're going to be able to pass along to our children. We need. I would love to see to get into like free schooling. Free schooling. Absolutely positively. You know what I mean? I need that money. I need that land. I need my grandkids to be able to go to school. I need to be able to go back to school and my children to go to school if need necessary. You know? The other thing is Biden is talking a lot about, you know what I mean, building up the infrastructure.
Hmm.
I'm so sick of hearing that.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, so am I because
What's building the infrastructure? The PRISM system? I mean, it's a lot. You know what I mean? You gotta be on
I
point.
do know what you mean.
They talking codes, brother.
Yeah, that's part of the code. That's
Yeah.
a big
So
code right there.
so when he says building up like the infrastructure, I'm thinking to myself, you know, when there's only one bank that I know of up in Chicago, black-owned bank that was actually given for the first time ever, you know what I mean, in Illinois history was ever given, you know, public funds. I think they got the account for the school board system, you know. But how many other black financial institutions are getting these funds, are being able to land these contracts from these federal contracts, you know what I mean, to be used as financial institutions? You know, it's not just roads and bridges. You know, I mean, how many black-owned tech companies are being able to run blah 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 dot gov on any level? You know, so we have to, you know, we have to expand beyond, like, you know what I mean, bridges and roads. Even though those are the things that we see, it's the things that we don't see that go on behind the scenes that we don't get the contract for. We don't get the contracts to make hammers, you know what I mean, for for the military. We don't get to make bullets for the military. We don't get to make arms for the military. All of those go to, you know what I mean, predominantly white owned businesses. We don't get those contracts. You know, matter of fact, we don't get the contracts for the roads and the bridges. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and even when it comes down to building military homes, like out here, you know what I mean, where we are up here, like in Fort Meade, man, you know, I don't see any, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I could be wrong, and I would love for somebody to correct me on it, whatever. But there's no blacks in the development going on up here at Fort Meade, and it's been going on for years.
Mhm.
You know, so when he says, you know, I mean, we got to fix the infrastructure, how much of that infrastructure that you're talking about fixing are we going to be a part of?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Hey, you remember I've been hearing that word, you know, like you say on code. They on code, man.
Oh yeah,
These
most definitely.
Mizungus is on code because I've been hearing them talk about infrastructure my whole life. You grow up in the hood, we got the same potholes, the same raggedy streets, the same raggedy bridges, the same stuff that we've been going on that they've been putting a little quick patch on over and over again for the last 20, 30 years, and we still ain't got no infrastructure.
Mm-mm.
That money goes toward these mafia ran, big construction companies, along with all their friends who they get these contracts to, and it never goes to the little guy. So that's another code word they use to mean that I don't, I'm not even gonna say black people or black descendants of slaves. What do they call that? ADOS.
Yeah.
Not the organization, because I don't know about the organization, but just the name us. That money's not going to us in no shape, form, or fashion. I would, without even looking the figures up, I would say that close to 90.999. What's that? The lowest percentage you got that's possible is what goes to black-owned businesses. And I ain't talking about the ones that, you know, they know somebody black and just put them on there so they can get the minority contract, or vice versa, or, you know, the ones when they put in that minority category that goes to majority white women. I ain't talking about them, just brothers and sisters. Those never filter down to us, and if he talking them terms, it still ain't gonna filter down to us. All I want to know is, and can I go back to something you mentioned before that we didn't go over about the voting? All right, most people vote, right? Most people are not educated voters, right? Most
Right.
people don't know all the candidates in their district. You know, me personally, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know none. I knew that the big name people, candidates in my district, but I don't, I'm a little different. I done emotionally detached myself from America, so I don't give a damn what they do, personally. But all these people on here normally vote the ticket, right? So if everybody vote the ticket, how in the world did everybody pick all these Republican candidates, everybody except for Trump? So he might got something on them stealing some of them votes, because most people voted ticket. I voted independent for the president, and I voted down the ticket Democratic when I voted. And I didn't know, and it's sad to say because I don't care, because I first of all, I plan on moving from where I'm at, so I don't have no attachment here because I won't be here long. But the average person does that. So how is that possible if the average voter votes like that for them to do that? That's all I want to know about these numbers.
Yeah, I guess
that
Trump
makes sense.
Yeah. Trump camp is asking the same thing, but you have to also realize that is the only people that we hear about, you know what I mean, that support Trump are like these radicals. You know, the media doesn't actually show people that are Republican but don't like him. You know what I mean? I was just me and my coworker was having this conversation, and I told her, I was like, the sad part is that if this dude was just a little less arrogant, you know what I mean? He probably would have won this election
I would have
overwhelmingly.
voted for him.
He could have got away with all the dirt that he did and selling every single appointment that he had that he put into office. Every last one of those people paid for those appointments, and nobody hid it. Nobody hid it. You know what I mean? It was just right out there in the open. This dude did all types of dirt, broke all types of laws, but it was his arrogance and the way that he would talk and carry himself is the reason that turned most people off, because like his supporters, you know what I mean, the ones that actually fund him, the ones that actually put money into his campaign or whatever, was turned off by that type of stuff. Like, man, you got to have like a little more decorum. You know what I mean? When you're dealing with other world leaders, you need to have more decorum. And you know what I mean? The view of America has changed drastically in the 4 years that you were here. Not that anybody, you know what I mean? I know as Americans, we like to think that everybody thinks that we are the top, you know what I mean? The greatest thing ever because we're Americans, but it's not really like that. The worldview is not really like that. And it was already on decline. And he just shifted that joke into like fourth gear and just took us right down, you know what I mean, extremely quick. And the sad part about it is he could have did all of this stuff and still got reelected if he would have just said less. That's it. That's all he had to do was just say less. And that's the sad part about it. Less. Over 70 million people voted for this dude, man. 70 million people voted for this guy.
I'm not surprised.
Despite the overwhelming media coverage of his racism. 70 million. That says a lot, man, that, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who changes, who's in the office. America hasn't changed. We changed presidents, but America hasn't changed, and I still think Biden's a racist.
But this is what it goes to brothers. And I'm let me go back. I messaged you that birth certificate, and I couldn't find where it has her race. It does say her mother's white and her father's Jamaican. So I'm hoping I'm hoping and I'm praying that sister, you know, has that black in her heart. But you know, I have to ask you, if you're on that plantation and your master whips you with the whip every day, he's raping your mother and your little sister every day, and all of a sudden you have a chance to go to another master that doesn't whip you unless you don't practice Christianity. You saying I'm gonna go practice Christianity? Shit, I'm tired of my mother and my sister getting raped. I'm tired of getting whipped. So you go practice Christianity, but that's not your true self or your true religion that you studied in Africa. So all along you chose the lesser of two evils. In this state, we just choosing the lesser of two evils. You know, you got a white man who's calling you all kinds of names, saying make America great again, supporting white supremacy. So you choose a guy who denounces white supremacy, but is a white supremacist. Just like we've chosen Christianity and a white Jesus. Same thing, brother. It's still hurting our people in my eyes.
He throwing some gut shots, man. I mean,
hey, brother. Got you, brother. Got you, brother. We in the war right now, brother. We in the war. We in the war.
Speaking of which, so what happened to the Civil War? What happened to it?
It's coming.
Huh?
It's
you still
coming.
think it's coming? You still think it's coming?
It's already. You gotta remember they talk in codes. When they say go kill all the Democrats, they saying kill black people. When they say we're gonna have a civil war, they saying we've been in power for 4 years. Let's use our power now to make sure we counsel and keep all of our jobs, keep that, keep them at a standstill. So it may not be with the weapons like they say. They talk in codes. That means they're going to unite and come back harder another way. And so that could be what they're talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
They some cowards, so they the kind of dude that sit around the corner and shoot you. They ain't the type of guy that go come right up to you and say, I got a problem with you, and let's throw up some hands. Mm-hmm. That ain't how they operate. So I agree. I'll give you an example, right? And what I noticed about them in voting is I was listening to Boyce Watkins, right? He was talking about when he was in school, I think Syracuse or something, doing his doctorate or something. And it's a silent complicity that they have. And if you ever notice and work with them or been around them, they never like to talk about politics. You got some that be in your face and will tell you, oh yeah, Trump this, or, whoever they for. But then the majority of them won't say nothing. But when that vote came out, I think he said they was voting for something in school about getting somebody black or something to come. And, it was that few that was like, oh, no, but the majority of them, and a lot of them were the women, wouldn't say nothing. Mm-hmm. But when time came to vote, none of them vote for the Black Initiative. So that's why they can't never tell how they going to actually turn out, because they lie. They lie, and they silently complicit to white supremacy.
Facts. Don't be surprised if you see the prison rate go up higher. They find a way to get you. They start locking you up a little bit more. They're gonna put away the guns and the police brutality, and they're gonna do it another way, like they've always done. Slavery to the prison system.
Exactly.
Nothing
I
changed.
watched this disturbing video the other day, man. This young lady, I guess she had like a Black Lives Matter sign or something on her car, and a bunch of Trump supporters surrounded her car. And they're like, oh, get out the car, you scared. So she got out the car, she got her phone. It's like, I ain't scared, you know what I mean? And she's, talking to them, and they're going back and forth. It was quite a few of them, man. They had her outnumbered at least, 8-1. So somebody called the police, so on and so forth. They threatening to mace her, and I think somebody did end up getting maced, so on and so forth. The police show up, and she's like, man, they're threatening me, and they're doing all this. And she's reporting everything to the police. And she was like, you can't let them go. Like, they maced somebody, you know what I mean? These people broke the law. They assaulted her.
Yeah, huh? They assaulted her.
Yeah, and the police, all three of them, just stood there looking at her like, what do you mean we can't let him go? It's like, I'm reporting a crime to you right now. As they are pulling off out of the parking lot, they're just standing there like, what crime? And they just act completely stupid, as though they knew nothing. You know what I mean? As though they didn't get a 911 call. Like, they just casually rode past and was just like, hey, fellas, what's going on? And everybody decided to just get up and leave. Now, and if that was us, and if the situation was reversed, it ain't even got to be that type of situation. That could be us hanging out in CVS parking lot, and they're going to be like, break it up. Let's go. Yeah. Matter of fact, before anybody leave, I'm going to need to see everybody's ID.
Yeah.
Nobody would have even had to call the police. If they would have just seen us standing out there, Joker, just talking, having a good old time, you getting old, maybe you needed some rub for your knees after the basketball game. We tried to help you out the CVS. But honestly, man, the police would have rolled up on there, made every last one of us show ID. They would have ran once. No one would have been able to just ride off with one woman in the midst of 8 guys saying that she got assaulted, they not letting us drive off the lot. They not.
So were they white supremacists or not?
I know that they were Trump supporters.
Well, they was white supremacists. I mean,
Right.
I mean, you one or the other. I forgot who was saying it's two kinds: those that actively participate and those that benefit from it.
Okay.
Right.
But it's that's why, to me, I say the whole police system needs to go. They honestly believe that they are the law.
They are the law.
They're not the law, but they think they the law.
Amen.
But they supposed to be on every one of their cruises. I see serve and protect, but all they do is enforce and harass.
But it doesn't tell you who they serving or who they protecting, though, does it?
Well, there you go.
Hey, well then y'all, let's be honest, and we talking about the Constitution, because the Constitution wasn't meant for black people to be slaves. I mean, to be free. And we weren't included in the Constitution like that, and we helped write it. We were meant to be slaves. So all of these laws are for us to be oppressed. It's not for us. That stand your ground is actually stand your ground for white people. It's just a fact. I even heard Dr. Claude Anderson talking about the Fifth Amendment or something like that. The right to carry guns was created so white people could, keep blacks in order. That's what it was created for. So when you say they're harassing black people, when you say they're locking us up unjustly, they're just doing it the American way, brother. We just don't want to accept the fact that this country is not make America great again, is what he's saying. Let's go back to what America's meant to be. Let's just stop sugarcoating and put it out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I don't think they ever stop saying it.
Yeah, they got it loud and clear. They were like, yeah, my man. Finally, you know what I mean? We ain't got to keep, you know what I mean, tippy-toeing around like this.
Nah,
thing.
brother, it's,
right with it.
Yeah, it's just that's the sad part about it, is because, you see black people down DC happy that Trump is gone. Like we've been saved. We haven't been saved. Biden is fighting for the same thing Trump is fighting for, America. But America isn't fighting for black people. That the Constitution, none of the laws are for black people. And we think that they are. We think that this country was founded for everybody. It wasn't. It raped the Indians' land. That was here with the Indians. It made slaves. It comes in, it tortures. It created a law that didn't acknowledge us as in a Constitution. What is it? It says, I can't even remember exactly, but I think 3/5 or something. Yeah, and all of that. And so they don't even, the Constitution doesn't even really acknowledge black people's humans, pretty much. So how can we expect? How can we and go and be like, fighting for all this democratic system and the Constitution and the laws it stands for? Isn't even that way. I even heard, if I'm not mistaken, the Statue of Liberty was a black woman. The Statue of Liberty was initially a black woman. I think it was sent from France or somewhere. They were so excited that slavery was over, and you could correct me if you know the story better, but and they sent the Statue of Liberty over with a black woman, and if you see the shackles on the Statue of Liberty, it means she was free. Finally, the black person is free. That big Statue of Liberty, they sent that joint back, or they fixed it up and put a white person's face on it. That should tell you right then and there that this country isn't meant for us. So we're gonna have to fight to find a place, but we can't even do that in a country that with rules and laws that are not meant for black people. So that's all I can say on that.
My man texted me and said that as a nation, we have not lived up to the concept of a more perfect union. Until African Americans achieve the same privileges as whites, that we can achieve a more perfect union. We can't achieve that union if only one group, is able to live at a certain status while everybody else, lives below them. I think that at this point with like Biden, I'm gonna be honest, I don't I think that there are going to be some things that he's going to change, but I think that um, a lot of people should have been very careful of what it is that they asked for. I know you wanted to get rid of Trump, but when you in the next coming years and days, you see that he's going to fight for the exact same thing. He's just going to fight different. So he's not going to, he's not going to go to Canada and disrespect them. He's not going to go to Germany and disrespect them. He's not going to go to France and disrespect them. He's not going to go over to Korea and have, take shots of Henny with what's his name over there in North
Kim
Korea.
Jong-un.
Yeah. But at the same time, when them doors are closed, they're going to come to the same agreements. You know what I mean? They're going to come to the exact same agreements. And as you said, you know what I mean? Zero of those agreements are going to be for our benefit, because this country was never meant to benefit us. We were here to benefit the country. We were here to work for the country. We were here to build a country, not be a part of it. You know what I mean? You're a decoration. You're a background. You're labor. You know what I mean? You're just a fixture in the room. You're here to clean the room, to put the room together, but not be in the room and not be a part of the room. So once you take that into consideration, and then you look at like who you put into place, the same person, it was just like, I don't want my kids to go to the jungle. You know what I mean? I don't want to send my kids into a jungle. This dude decided with every, Southern races, just about, his whole time in Congress. And never his whole time in Congress. So I can't really, expect his agenda to be that much more different than what Trump's agenda is. Only thing I can expect is that he's going to have more decorum about it. He's going to be a little politer about it. He's going to smile in your face, you know what I mean, while he's stabbing you in the back. You know what I mean? He's going to shake your hand, give you a hug, and you know what I mean? And then just be like, yeah, nah, man, I really would like to give you that road contract, but I really would like to, you know what I mean, open up one of Amazon's biggest, the big money that Amazon really makes, and this is from Noob One. So he hit me to this fact is cloud. You know what I mean? That little cloud service and data. That's Amazon's biggest money maker. Where everybody is thinking that they're just making money by undercutting everybody, selling all these little cheap Chinese products. It's actually, you know what I mean, in data. You know what I mean? And they have millions and millions of dollars of government contracts and like this whole cloud thing, man, and servers. That's where their money is coming from. How do we break into that? We don't, because because Amazon makes it makes sure that you never get a chance to compete.
Facts.
We start talking about like the neighborhood. We looking at the small picture. We just want, you know what I mean, our own grocery store. But Walmart is making sure that that's not gonna happen. Not while I'm on the block. You know what I mean? We want, we want police reform, but you know what I mean, you have to realize that the police unions are pumping millions of dollars into the Democrat and the Republican Party. That's not going to happen. Not only are they pumping millions of dollars into that, they're also backing whatever DA, whatever judge it is that they want in office that are going to be able to dismiss cases against police officers, throw out cases against police officers, or set aside sentences if the police actually ever do get convicted and brought to court. They can just set their sentence aside and let them walk out. Yeah, so the things that we want and the things that we're looking for, man, you know what I mean, are not going to be carried out by this guy. And it's only one way that we're ever going to actually get it, and it's through unification, man. It's through unification. It's through unification. It's through unification. If you get a chance, by all means, please sign up for the UNIA Baltimore chapter. Sign up for the Atlanta chapter. Sign up for whatever chapter is closest to you that you can get online and get in their Zoom meeting and get involved. That is the only way we're actually going to be able to make a change, is we come together and we come up with our own plan, and we take that plan to City Hall and we say, hey, man, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about taking our schools back, because we had some of the best schools in the country. in the country before we got segregated, and then we end up getting bussed into other schools where these white teachers did not want to teach us, and they made sure that we got a poor education, if we got an education at all, and didn't get kicked out the school for minor offenses. The same thing that's going on with our young black females now. They are subject to disciplinary actions within the school system 10 times more than anybody else. Our young men are getting expelled at an incredible rate for the exact same things that their other peers of other races are doing. We have to take back our school system. We have to be able to unify. We need to go in and say, hey, man, if we can't get, we need permits to be able to build. We need permits. We need access to these rundown buildings that you refuse to sell to us. But if Clark Industries, that's a building, he comes in and says, hey, I want to buy this building because I want to do such and such with it. You'd sell it to him at a cheap price. If this construction company comes in and says, hey, I want to do this, that, and the third, you sell it to him at a cheap price because he's going to generate jobs as if we're not. Unification, unification, unification. All right, man, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Don goes in. What you got, man?
Y'all ain't tired yet?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't tired yet? Y'all ain't ready to just say y'all win? I mean, I'm not giving up, but y'all win. Y'all can have this raggedy mug. I mean, you can have it. I'm looking at going across that water over there. I'd rather take my chances over there with some people that look like me. I don't even care if they don't run it right. They ain't running it right over here. I'd rather take my chances over there with them and deal with this right here. Because
Where you
huh?
Where you going?
So I'm trying to decide. Next summer we all going. Depending on how Biden go, y'all, hey, we gonna have to get that star line back up or something. There, hey, we gonna be out of here because this is it's so many problems on so many levels. How do you get past this? I mean, I was posed a question by one of my subscribers and it was like, are we tired? Are we cowards for being tired of this racist country and wanting to get out of here? And it's almost like people that want to leave and want to repatriate somewhere else. It's almost like you get victim blamed. You get victim blamed by the people that want to stay. It's like you getting raped, your mama, all your siblings, everybody look like you getting raped every day. And then you come up with the idea, you tired of being raped by this system and you want to leave, and those is getting raped just like you saying, nah, what you want to leave for? You scared. I'm scared. This is abuse. Like, at what point is enough enough? I'm tired of these people. They win. I don't care who win the office. I don't care what they do with it. I just want to I just want to get out here so I can and try my hand somewhere else. I don't have ain't enough time in our lifetime to fix these problems they have right here. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't fight, because the only way we're going to make change is being involved in an organization. So I understand that, and I'm going to join up too and join there and put my hand in there, because change don't happen on an individual basis. It happens. It's a group effort for change. But I'm just kind of tired. I just want to experience. Damn, if I could be over there one day and experience being in a place where somebody black is the president, the vice president, the police chief, own the store. You know what I'm saying? I just want to experience that once in my life. Just experience what that feel like. I'd experience the opposite end and see where they run everything and they make everything go their way. I just want to see what it feel like on the opposite end. So I can't be the only one tired. So I'm looking into ancestry by DNA, and I think there's an event. I've talked to a couple people because I heard Sierra Leone and a couple other places are offering citizenship if you take that African DNA test and you tie to a tribe in there. They offer citizenship. You get that passport, Now you're not locked in. You can go freely. If they decide to lock the borders down and say too many of y'all black people leaving, we gonna make y'all stay here because we can't run our plantation if all our slaves leave. If you got the only way you getting out is if you got paperwork from another nation, because that's the only thing that matters in law. Black don't matter in law. Matter of fact, from what I understand, black means dead in law. When you claim your black status legally, you claim it dead. That's why it's okay for them to kill you and do what they want to you, and they keep getting off because you're not claiming your nationality. So we need to get one, if not here, so we got something to say so we can move freely on this planet. So that's my solution to it, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I was about to cut your mic.
Hey, I felt it in my spirit. That's why I said, let me shut this up.
Yeah, no, but seriously, no. Me and Don brought it to me, man, and like, if we can, I will promote it up on here, man, and see if we can get a group trip, man, and go over there, man. Go and not just to one country, go to a couple of different countries, man, and see what feels right for you, and get up out of here. Me personally, I feel both ways about it. I want to leave, but I don't want to leave because our family was here before the Europeans, man. So I feel some type of way about people. You know what I mean? And it's a battle that we're not going with. You know what I mean? So, brother E, man, what do you got, man? In closing, man, and tell us, you know anything about this fish dinner, man?
More details to come. No, we are having a fundraiser. And we'll have more information to come about it. But they talk about cornbread, seasoned potatoes, greens, green beans, collard greens, all you want. It's really a donation to the organization. But we'll have more details to come. It's going to be sponsored by Divas on Call. You know, so it's a black-owned sister. She has her own business. She's going to be doing her own, going to be catering for the UNIA ACL in Baltimore. But just like Donnie said, you know, I don't know, we got to move over there, but we need to start claiming back what's ours. Sometimes we forget that, you know, we're from there, you know, and, you know, that's our territory too. We have a right to it just like they do over there. So as we unite with them, let's go back and claim our land back. Get some land over there. It's cheaper. You know, we just had Professor James Smalls at the UNIA ACL meeting. A legendary Pan-African, and he has a hotel over there. That brother hotel. And like you said, get some citizenship. Go over there a couple of times a year. You know, get some of that real sun up in you, and you know, and let's build a network over there as well. I'd like to figure out maybe how all these people are using China. You know, we can start developing some business over there, having our brothers and sisters work at an affordable price and give them some money and build up over there instead of using China. You know what I'm saying? Instead of China trying to come over there and kicking us out of China, though. So, you know, let's just go over there and start putting in for what we got. Because like you said, when that civil war comes on, you better have a way out. If it ain't worth it to stay here, we got to have another place to go. So that's all I got to say.
All right, man. Another fantastic show. I appreciate both of you coming on. Don't forget to check out Don Goes In, Real Truth and Power. My man E be bringing, man, all types of guests, man, from all over, like the globe. I can't even say all over the country anymore. All
we working,
over, like,
brother.
The globe, man. Yeah, man. You getting that work in, man. Let's unite, man. Let's try to stay in contact, man, with our brothers across the waters, man, and across this nation, man. And the number one thing, man, we got to get a code, and we have to stay on code, man, and we have to unite, man. With all like these local elections being finalized, the next thing to do, man, please, if you don't do anything else, even if you didn't go out and vote, make it to your town hall meeting, man, because you can't get anything on the agenda by sitting at home. You have to go to this meeting, man, and put pressure on them. You have to go to the meeting and put pressure on them. We can't just leave it to whoever it is that we think is like some type of community leader that we done made up in our minds. We can't depend on the 50 cents and the Jeezys and the Lil Weezys and whoever else, man. They want to throw out that joint, you know what I mean? And, the Russ Paws and all the rest of them, man. We can't depend on them, man. We have to do it ourselves, man. And that's one of the biggest problems. We always look to delegate our lives to someone else, man. We have to start running our lives ourselves. With that said, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the real oh boy, about to say the Real Truth and Power. I ain't know your show this time. Seriously Joking. All right, man. We out, man.
I said.
Later.